everyone. In this video, we are going to learn how to fill the IACAC, that is the International Association for College Admission Counseling form for financial assistance. So it's called the International Student Application for Financial Assistance. So in 2021, very recently, the College Board, which used to publish two forms, which is the ISFAA, International Students Financial Aid Application, and ISCOF, that is International Student Certificate of Finance. Both of these forms were discontinued by College Board. These forms were used by a lot of colleges across the US, and with the discontinuation of these forms, there was a big vacuum which was created on the kind of forms that students should fill in order to share about their finances with the colleges, or in order to request for more financial aid. And that's when IACAC, that is International ACAC, or International Association for College Admission Counseling, jumped in and they created a very useful form which is called as the International Student Application for Financial Assistance. And now in this video, I'm going to share with you on how to fill this form. Now, this is a form which international students fill in order to request colleges for, or when they're requesting colleges for financial aid. This video is not an official video of International ACAC. This is a video by the Next Genius webinars team for you, and it will help you learn about how to fill this financial aid form. This is a form, it's a PDF, you can download it. It's not very clear which colleges are using or which colleges are going to use this form. When I'm making this video, it's November 29th, 2021, but I'm sure as we move forward, as we go ahead, I'm sure a lot of colleges will start using this form. This form will become a requirement for international students who are requesting financial aid. Another form which is out there is the College Board's CSS profile, which is there, and I've already created a video on how to fill the CSS profile, the link for which will be provided in the description. So this is a form again, which is for the students who are applying for financial aid. Now, let's see how it goes. This form is for non-US citizens. Okay, convert all currency to US dollars before entering on the form. All right, so in the CSS profile, you have to fill it in, you can fill it in your local currency, but this one requires you to fill it in the USD. Return the form directly to the university that you're applying to, or the university that is requesting it. Means that don't send it to the don't send this form to all the universities that you're applying to. Send it to only those universities which is requesting this form. This shows all the different sections which are there, which you need to fill. So student information, student citizenship, family information. Some of you live with your birth parents. Some of you live with your legal parents. So all that information is to be added over here. Which colleges you're applying to, income, property and assets, and expenses. So these are the 7 sections. You can either fill this form online or download it and fill it with your pens, or download it and fill it on the Adobe Acrobat reader, whichever works best for you. Then you can save it as a PDF and you can send that to your colleges. So the first section is pretty simple. Your full legal name, first family name, so then your given name and middle name. So I don't use a middle name. So make sure first you fill the family name or the surname, and then you fill the first name. Preferred name, I prefer this name. Your permanent address. So enter your full address. I'm just entering my address in short over here. Your email ID. So nextgeniusindia at gmail.com. Your phone number. So enter the code before adding the phone number. That's my phone number. Your current mailing address, if different from above. So my mailing address is the same as above. So I'll simply say same as above. But if it is different, suppose you're living in a boarding school, or if you're living in a rented apartment, or that which is not your permanent address, then you can enter that over here. Boarding school students, or students who live or who might change their homes, whichever address is your current address where you want all your mails, enter that over here. Date of birth. So, all right. So here they want month first. So that's something, that's how I should enter it. Place of birth. So my place of birth is India. When do you plan to begin your college? So since you're watching this video, right, probably in 2021 or 2022. So you'll start in, let's say, August 2022. Will you be attending a college or university, transferring, or a returning student? It means will you just start your college, or are you transferring from a different student, or are you a returning student that you started college somewhere and then you're returning back after in the second year or third year? So it should say start attending. So that's what I'll select. I'll start attending a college. Your marital status. So most of the students would be not married. I'm assuming that, but of course, if you're married, you can select that option. Do you have legal dependents? If you have kids or if you have someone who is dependent on you. See, this is not something where you need to enter dependents for your parents. These are dependent on you. Someone who is dependent on you or your earnings. So as a student, this question, again, make sure you don't enter your parents' legal dependents. You enter your own legal dependents. If you have siblings, that information is not coming here. That information will come later. Where do you live? I live in India. Yeah. Okay, citizenship status. So I'm a citizen of India. Are you a refugee or currently displaced student? No, I'm not a refugee, but of course, I know there are many students who might have some of these status. So you can mention that if you're a refugee, let's say from Afghanistan or from another country, from Iraq or Iran or wherever you are coming from Myanmar, maybe you can mention that over here and explain what exactly your situation is. Okay, now the third information is information about your parents or family. What is your parents' current marital status? So whichever is applicable for you, you can mention that. So I'll say married. Now I'll parent 1 information, parent 2 information. So I'll quickly add my parents' information, enter their full name, enter their full address, they're formally employed. Okay, same thing for your mom as well. And she is unemployed because she's a homemaker. Briefly explain your parents' work. So I'll mention that my father is a manager. You need this in. This is where you need to explain about your employment, your parents' employment. Like my father has been the manager at NGF Corporation or whichever place, and he's been there for past 30 years. And anything specific that you would like to add over here. Okay, this is where you need to add information about your siblings or your grandparents, whoever is dependent on your parents' income. How many people, including yourself, depend on the income of your parents? So I would say my sibling and I, my grandparents, so there are 4 plus my mom. So 5 of us are dependent on my father's income. Family member listing. Provide information of all members who are currently in school or college. Complete all information. So let's say my brother, I'll call him Dave Pro. He is currently, let's say, 17 years old. He is my brother, and he is studying at OIS. He is in his senior year. Tuition and fees. So his tuition is, let's say, 4,000 USD. Room and board. There is no room and board. Gift and scholarship, none. Amount of parents' contribution. So the whole amount is in parents' contribution. Yeah. And then again for the next year. So this is for 2021-22, the current year. And then the same information for next year. Again, next year, again, since he's at senior here currently. So later on, he'll go to, let's say, college. But which college, I don't know. Total cost that should be around 50,000 USD. Remember, everything is being added here in USD. And amount that I expect my parents to contribute is also 50,000. Yeah. If you have other siblings, you can enter all of that information, their age and everything, which school they are at, all that information over here. So that's family information. Use this space to explain any unusual expenses, debts, special circumstances that you should consider before that the institution should consider when they're deciding on the financial aid. So, and if there is additional information required, you can use a sheet of paper. So I'll add all the information. Let's say there is medical expenses for my grandmother's, let's say, cancer treatment. Any extenuating circumstance, any special thing that you want to explain regarding expenses, you can enter that over here. Please specify any barriers that you will face in providing supplementary documentation to demonstrate income, bank records, or business values. So let's say if your parents' income is undocumented, let's say they receive a lot of amount in cash. So you can mention that most of my father's income is in cash, so I can't provide documents to prove his income value. That's just an example. Of course, you will have different circumstances which you need to add over here. Additional information, again, anything else that you want to add over here, you can add it over here. Any special circumstances which will impact your family or currently impacting your family. So my father is changing his employment. I'll add that over here. There is COVID-19 related sort of expenses my family has faced. Anything else? I am expecting a scholarship from Next Genius Foundation, so I'll add that over here. Anything that is applicable to you, you need to select that. Housing, I plan to live on campus. See, this option is corresponding to this one. This one looks closer, but this is the option which I need to select. Yeah, on campus. I am applying regular decision. Yeah. Okay, now the section about income. So they're asking which document will you sort of submit as a proof of income. So I'll submit a tax form and the pay slip. What is the official exchange rate? So I know that INR 75 is equals to USD 1. What is today's date? It's 29. So first month, then date, and 2021. Does your government impose any restrictions? It does, but it's a huge amount. It's $250,000. I would simply say no. That value, I'm sure, I think you can check, but I think it's $250,000 that the government imposes as a restriction on the amount of money that you can send outside. So yes, 250,000, but again, see online and just verify that information. Do you have any source of emergency funds? Yes, I have my family members, actually I'll say extended family members in New York, and they can give me up to, let's say, $10,000, if not more. Yeah. Okay. What is the source of funding for your, do you have a source of funding to cover your air transport? Yes, of course, my parents income, I'll use that. Okay. Now, more questions about income. Household income before taxes. My father's income, let's say it's about $25,000. Your work, my mom is a homemaker, so nothing. My work, let's say $5,000 from my work as a student, or I'll just say $1,000 as a student. Family business, so we have some family business from which we have $10,000. I just mentioned $250,000. It should be $25,000 per year. Yeah, it's during 2020. Rent from family, so I get a rent of another $1,000. Interest or dividend, another $10,000. Okay, family pension, others. Apart from that, let's say we receive another $5,000 from other income. So that is all my family income, right? Does your family have a retirement plan? So yes, my father has a retirement plan. Does the government give any funding? My parents are in a private company, so they know, but a lot of times government also have some pension schemes for their employees. My mom has no and no. Will there be a significant increase or decrease? Yes, my father is retiring. So we are expecting a significant decrease in family income in 2022 because of my father's retirement. Yeah. Okay. Property and assets. So do you have your parents have a bank account? Yes, they do. Does your parents own a home? Yes, they do. It was built in 2004. What was the original price of purchase? So if you talk about USD, it was at that time it was probably around 2,000 USD. How much your family owns? So if they've taken a loan, you need to mention that they own still owe on this purchase. So they owe, let's say, they have taken a big loan and they need to repay that. So they need to mention the amount in USD. Okay. What is the present market value if known? Mention that clearly. So the current market value is $4,000. Again, these values, you need to think of your own house and mention those values over here. If your house was not purchased, built, how was it obtained? It was built. So that's what I'd say. Does your family own a business? No. But of course, let's say my family owns a business. They own a grain mill. Date of commencement, when was it started? It was started in November 29th, 10 years ago, so 2011. Type of business, it was a, let's say it was a flour mill. What is your parents' share in indebtedness? So there is no debt on the business, so that's it, 0. Value of assets. So apart from the main house, do you have any other sort of assets? So we have a farm. So the farm land we have, farmland which is worth $10,000, and there is no debt. Savings, we have another 10,000, or let's say we have another $15,000 in savings. Assets owned by students. As a student, I don't have any assets. Money owed to family by others. If we have to take any money from someone else, we have a $5,000 that we have given to our friends. Repayment of 37E expected. So this money, when do you expect this money to be back? So we expect it to be back in 2024. Anything else? Jewelry. Indian families have lots of jewelry, so we mentioned that. Investment in stocks. So we have stocks of about $15,000. So that's what I mentioned over here. Okay. Do we have any property elsewhere outside of India? No, we don't have. So all this can be mentioned or can be left empty. Which automobile does your family own? Yes, we have an automobile. It's a Hyundai make of 2016. Yeah. So they understand your finances by which car you or your family own. So let's talk about expenses in 2021, annual expenses in 2021, the annual amount in US dollars on the respective amounts. So whatever your monthly amount is multiplied by 12. So rent, let's say I pay $1,000 rent. So annually it will be $12,000. On utilities, let's say we spend in the year, let's say we spend $3,000 on utilities, another $3,000 on food, another $2,000 on clothing, other housing necessities, another $2,000. So just sit with your parents and calculate that amount carefully. Annual medical care, approximately $2,000. Actually, my grandmother's cancer treatment is there, so I'll say $4,000, $5,000. Supplemental emergency medical expenses, so some money that you need for emergency medical expenses. Actually, ideally it should be $2,000 to $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 maybe. Educational expenses, so we spend about $5,000 annually on education. Loan payments, we have some loans, so I'll say we have additional $5,000 on loans. Taxes, we pay about $6,000 annually on taxes. Any other expenses? Public transport, $1,000 on transport. Any other care given to relatives? No, none. Amount allocated on savings and retirement. So every year your parents put in some money in their savings or retirement account. So let's say $3,000. Automobile maintenance, so that's about probably $1,000. Insurance, about $1,500. Entertainment and vacations, so about $2,500. Household staff, $1,000. Other $4,000. So that's all the expenses roughly that should amount to about $30,000, $35,000. Any other expenses? I'll mention about any other expenses that I have. How much money does your family own to people or financial information institutions? So now we have taken a loan, so I would say about $40,000 loan we have taken. Amount paid in debt in 2021. So we paid, let's say, $1,000. Reason for debt is, let's say, home loan. So above somewhere I mentioned that we don't have any loan. Yeah, but then again, if we don't have a loan, then I need to make sure that I'm not entering that information incorrectly. So I would say education loan. Yeah. Does your family employ the people? Yes, we have some house helps, 2 members. In the family business, we have another 2 members. Okay, now the final thing is financial support. How much money do you expect your parents to pay towards your educational cost? So from my earning, I think I'll pay $1,000 in all 4 years. But from my parents' earning, I can pay about $26,000. And then following year, actually the first year I can pay $35,000. And then following that, since my parents are retiring or something else, I would say $32,000. But be careful again, while you're entering this information, be genuine, enter the right information, don't enter incorrect information, don't underreport or overreport anything. Other sources of funding, my uncle is going to pay another $5,000 towards my education. So that's what I'll mention over here. And that's it. And anything else, any additional information that you want to add? Let's say you're applying to the Next Genius Scholarship Program for a scholarship. So you can add that information over here. Finally, all the signatures are to be made over here. So you need to sort of add your signs over here. You can create your own signature, or you can sort of upload it from online. Yeah, there are various options, or simply you can print it and then sign it. So I'm completing it on 29/11/2021. Actually, that's not the way to write. 11/29/2021. And that's it. That's how you fill this form. It's complicated, it's detailed, but it is important to fill it carefully, because a lot of colleges will use this information to understand your financial need. Please don't under-report or over-report anything. Just make sure you're reporting everything very carefully. All right, thanks for watching this. I hope this helped. If you have additional questions, please post it in the comments. Like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.